We did religion, we did Speaker of the House, not Speaker, free speech, and then we did, now we're on the press, right? You can say or do whatever you want, as long as you don't infringe on others' rights, and you have no right to not be offended. No right to not be offended. What? You have freedom of speech, but what goes along with that everybody forgets about?
As long as you don't infringe on other people's
Consequences. You have the right to say things and do things, but that doesn't mean you're free from consequences for that. Why can you not yell fire in a movie? You're infringing other people's lives, danger. I mean, because getting trampled to death, there's no fire. You don't have the right to do that. You're infringing on their rights to cause something that tramples them to death. Yeah, same kind of deal. Yes. All right, the press. When we say the press, what are we talking about? News. Now, it started out newspapers, but if you're on the internet, sometimes they call that the press. But it all started with newspapers, the printing press. It's just information. People that bring us information. In America, you are free to report stuff. In other parts of the world, you have to run your stuff through the government, and they censor what you have to say. A lot of the world is censored. The news is censored. Ours is free. You heard about the free press. That's good. What's negative about that? And today, you are sitting there with numerous sources of information. We got more information out there now than we ever had before. Do we know where it's coming from? Do we know anything about some of these sources? No. So it's a lot less reliable. More info, less reliable. Walter Cronkite. Y'all probably never heard of him. Walter Cronkite kind of invented television news. He was on the CBS News for, you have to look it up, I found it. All right, yeah, you good? Yeah. I'll never do that to y'all. I will never look at my phone while y'all are talking to me, ever. I promise. Isn't that a promise, Face? Yeah. And 100%, there's no chance it'll ever happen. Ever. Walter Cronkite. He was a big shot, the biggest big shot in news when President Kennedy got assassinated. He heard about it. He heard that President Kennedy had died. 30 minutes later, he reported it. Why do you think he waited 30 minutes? He wanted to physically communicate with somebody at the hospital in charge of something and have them verify he is dead. Does that happen today? Today it's whoever can get this up. Oh, any rumor, bam, get it out there. Because I got to be first. I got to get my name out there. I want to make a splash. Later on, if it's wrong, they might come back with an apology. The announcement is like this, but the apology is like. So there's a lot of stuff out there, but we don't know really where it's from. And know that every single person reporting something has an agenda. And you need to be very careful of just paying attention to sources that you like, that verify your stereotypes, that verify what you already think. That's dangerous. Does that make sense? It's hard to be informed. But anyway, sources of information, they are free. Do they have power over us? How do we know what's going on in Iraq? Any of us there? We're trusting people telling us something that's going on. And they're telling us their opinion of what's going on. Or they're showing their side of what's going on. Let's say Cutler and Brack get in a fight. Right? Cutler gets the first shot in. And Lakin's reporting this to me. And he says, Man, Cutler hit Brack, and Brack went flying, and he was just laid out. Period. Let's say that's true. What he didn't tell me was Brack eventually got up and got 2 shots on Cutler. And Cutler was out for 10 minutes. Now, he told me the truth, but he failed to tell me everything else. You can tell your side of the story and not lie to me, but by holding stuff back. Does that make sense? Our press is free, but they are obligated to tell the truth. And they've got power over us because they can tell us the truth, but pick and choose what kind of truth they tell us. And we don't know, because I'm not in Washington. I'm not in South America. I'm not in wherever it is they're telling me about. And we're dependent on them to tell us, here's what's happening. 50 years ago, people in journalism school, what would journalism school be? If you want to be a reporter, if you want to be on TV, if you want to be a newspaper writer, whatever, any of that stuff. The reason, if you ask them, why are you here? They'll say, I want to report, I want to inform, I want to tell people what's going on. Today, if you ask people in journalism school, it's, I want to change the world. I want to solve the problem. And so they have this, not bad mouthing everybody is a reporter, but what I'm saying is, today it's all about ratings, it's all about my name, it's all about being famous, it's all about, you know what I'm saying, and that's not, we're dependent on, their job is so important. And we're so, our decisions are based on what they're telling us. And our opinions of things is based on what they're telling us. And if they're not telling us the whole thing, and they're slanting it, don't get your news from, what is it?
Instagram.
No, you need to look at CNN, you need to look at Fox, you need to look at MSNBC and see the whole thing. That way you get get all sides. Because you could tell me your side of the story. And that's not a lie, but you tell me your side. Okay, but that's not the whole story. I need this person's side also, and then I can look at it and go, okay, is that really? And I can pick and, it's hard to be informed and know what's really happening.
The other day I was on Instagram, and there was
That's what I was going to say.
Tucker Carlson video, and they had put like a warning on it before, like you could click on to watch the video of it. It said false news or something like that.
Yeah. And he has an agenda.
Yeah.
He does.
I don't even listen to
I mean, they're all of them do. Don't get your news from Instagram or TikTok or whatever it is. That's what most Americans do. They look, and you put crap on there so everybody will check it. Hey, I like that. And y'all know what they're doing now. And your life is going to be miserable. Your life is going to be jacked up. I hate to say it. It's going to be miserable. Because now they can make video of me saying stuff, doing stuff that I didn't do. And eventually you won't be able to tell the difference. That ain't good. I mean, there's people actively working towards that. What good is that? How does that help anything? So y'all will not be able to know what's true and what's not, what's real and what's not. I guess you'll have some cool movies though. Anyway, so that makes you. The press is free, but they are obligated to tell the truth. There's 2 words that go with this: libel and slander. We're not going to have a quiz tomorrow. We won't be done. We'll be done with First Amendment today. But we won't have a quiz tomorrow. Libel and slander. Y'all ever heard of this? Okay. Now, you can be liable for something. I guess this kind of goes in with that. If I'm arrested and the Wise County Messenger comes out and says, let's say I'm arrested for murder, and the Wise County Messenger has a big headline saying Paradise teacher kills student. Can they do that? Why not?
You haven't been charged.
Haven't had a trial yet. You can't proclaim someone guilty who has not been tried yet. You can put accused. Ryle arrested for murder. Ryle chief suspect in murder. You knew all that, but you can't say murderer. That's libel and slander. If you jack up someone's reputation, if you lie about them, and it messes them up, that is a crime, and you can go to jail for that. I believe libel is written. So like if you write a book and you lie about somebody, or slander, I believe, is spoken. So there is some legal stuff that can hold them accountable.
So libel's like in a newspaper.
Yes, like a magazine, newspaper, book. Now, if I just say you're stupid, no, that doesn't apply there. But if I claim somebody, like say I'm running against somebody, this man is a rapist. Well, okay, that means something, and you better have some facts to back that up, or else now you're in trouble. All right, the last two. We do these together. We got religion, we got speech, we got the press, and now we got assembly and petition. We have an assembly, what's that?
You get people together.
Everybody's getting together. What does it mean to petition?
To sign a paper to, like, it's like what they do with the Big Ten.
They you either want something to happen or you don't want something to happen. You're not happy with the way things are going. You want to change it. Your right to assembly petition means we can get together and gripe. Protest. You have the right to get together with people and gripe or protest. That's what America's all about. You don't like what's happening, you can try to change it. You can say you don't like what's happening. And if you don't like the people that don't like what's happening, you can get together and gripe about that. Let me give you an example here. When I was in college, there was a movie that was produced. It was called The Last Temptation of Christ. I never saw it. And the only reason I heard about it is because I know this news story was about the Catholic Church, but I think it was a huge protest because this movie was all about Jesus getting married to, I think it was Mary Magdalene. Why would the Catholic Church or other churches have a problem with that? Because Jesus didn't get married to Mary Magdalene. Their view of it was they're trying to tear up the Bible, destroy chip away at the foundations of what Jesus Christ was. The only reason I knew about it is because of the protests. Sometimes if you get this huge protest going, you cause the opposite effect. You call people's attention to it. Now they're intrigued by it, and you give them free publicity to something that you're not for. Does that make sense? I'm not saying that happens every time. I'm not telling you don't protest, but sometimes. Okay. Have you ever heard this Papa story about me and my friends coming in to the house? My dad. One day we came in that me and my friends came in the house, and the house is like this. Okay, we came in the den. There's the kitchen. All right, just like a little. I don't know. Came in this door here, and it was real loud. We come in. Here's the refrigerator. We got to about right here, and you can see over this. And my dad was naked, getting some out of the refrigerator. And instead of going and leaving, he goes. And it just makes all this noise and draws attention, and everybody. So if he would have just snuck away, no one would have known. But he made this big production out of it, and it drew everybody's attention. All right. Sometimes protests do that. Does that make sense? I went to college with Greg Lowry, so I do this every year. He is our district attorney, and let's say I go to the courthouse with a sign that says Greg Lowry's stupid. And I walk around the courthouse. Greg Lowry's stupid! And I get a couple friends of mine. Greg Lowry's stupid, Greg Lowry's stupid. Can we do that?
Yes.
Yes. Does Greg Lowry like that? Does it affect him physically in any way? No. That's part of the gig. What if I get 25 friends and we're walking around the courthouse? Can I do that? What if we stop and block the entrance to the courthouse? Why not? I'm infringing other people's rights. What if we spill out into the street and block traffic a little bit? Can we do that? No. Now you're infringing on people's rights. Can we block businesses? No. So you're not going to be arrested for protesting. You might be arrested for disturbing traffic. Now, what if the police don't like what you're protesting about it? Can they kind of maybe, oh, you were blocking traffic here. Can you harass them a little bit? Yes, you can. What if we get 100 people? We go to the city and say, we want to protest Greg Lowry. And they say, okay, 4 o'clock Friday afternoon, we'll block off the streets, you can have a protest. Is that okay? You have gone through the proper channels. Now, you're not blocking the streets. The city has shut off streets, you might not like it, but they've gone through the proper channels. So you have the right to get together and gripe. You don't have the right to infringe on people's rights, and you have no right to not be offended. You have to let them gripe because you want to be able to gripe. Does that make sense? Okay. Does that little phrase make sense? All right. Talk about the Second Amendment. What's the Second Amendment? Y'all know this. You get to buy a legal gun. Always put legal in there. Do we need machine guns?
Yes.
For what?
Shooting pigs.
Okay, now we're going to get to that. There are some firepower. If you're hunting hogs, that's not going to stop that hog. And people in Dallas don't understand the problem hogs cause in the country. Not hogs, but hogs, right? We do need some firepower if you're hunting hogs, and we need to hunt hogs. Not everybody understands that. But we have outlawed certain, like machine guns. The Tommy, you see, come on, say, the 20s movie, the gangsters and stuff. We're gonna play a song on the violin, see? And nothing good comes from that. So, legal guns, you have the right. Does everybody have the right to own a gun?
No.
What if you have mental problems? You don't need to have a gun. What if you've been accused, or what if you have been convicted of certain felonies? You've kind of given up your right. If you committed this certain armed robbery, you don't get to have a gun anymore. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with background checks. I want to make sure we're as safe as we can be, and people that don't need to have guns don't have them. Can we eliminate idiots from getting guns? No. I don't think we have a gun problem. We have a mental health problem. So if I stack up machine guns this high in this room, is everybody okay? Nothing's going to happen to anybody unless an idiot gets a hold of one of them. That gun can't do anything until this person does something. Can there be accidents? Yes, there can. There's accidents with cars. Little Colt, when he was 5, he asked, Dad, how come I can't start your car or your truck, but I can start Mom's car? And I said, what he meant was, like, if you're not in the truck, I can't start it. And I go, I know, it's a standard, so you got to step on the clutch. He goes, oh, okay. A few days later, I walked into the garage. I see little Christy sprinting. So I go out and see Colt had gotten in my truck, started it, and then let off the clutch, and it was moving. Now, I was impressed, because for a 5-year, it's hard, though. If you've never done that before, it's hard to kind of get a standard going. He did it. And he's hanging out the window saying, I can't stop it, I can't stop it. And the mom's running, and I'm running, and there's a telephone pole between us and Mr. Moody's house, and it hits the telephone pole. And I turn it off. Mom is hugging and crying. I'm yelling, why? What? How? Okay. Want me to say something controversial here? You need a mom and a dad. I'm not saying anything bad about single parents at all. But you really need a mom and a dad. It's tough for one person to be both. whenever little Christy goes to town on y'all, right? Sometimes I'm the one that goes to town. That's my job. Okay, if the beatings are going to happen, that's me. If the yelling, that's me. The patting and you're okay and you're not a piece of garbage is her job. Okay? When she goes to town, when she turns into Walmart Christie and then just, what do I don't even think about it. What do I do? I start being the pat. Oh, come on. Come on, let's go. And it's just, I just automatically jump into it. It really takes two people because you can't be good cop, bad cop yourself. You can't. Okay, well, come on, let's go inside here. You can't. You can't do that. You know? Anyway. Legal guns. I wasn't there, but the reason they did that is because they understood. I mean, how did they get to this point? The revolution. How does China's people not, how come they can't overthrow their government? They don't have any way of doing it. So, anyway.
I wrote a paper on that last year.
Yeah.
Over China.
Gun
control.
All right, third. And this one doesn't really matter, but it did to them. What's the Third Amendment? What's the Third Amendment talk about?
Ordering troops.
Yeah. That one never happened. It's, to us, it's like, oh, no kidding. But back then, that was a huge deal to them. It just happened to them. You ever been in a car wreck because of a slick road on a curve? Anytime you get to that curve, if you're riding with somebody, what are you telling them that first week after that wreck? You better slow down, you better slow down, you better slow down. Because it's on your mind. After a few years, you probably don't think about it anymore. What's the Fourth Amendment? What's it say there? Look at the white, right? Look at the white. Search and seizure. Okay?
You have to have a warrant.
And I'll misspell it. Seizure? I don't know.
It's like that.
Y'all can look. Search and seizure. Our system is based on the idea that you are innocent and you have to be proven guilty. You don't have to prove you're innocent. They have to prove that you're guilty. That system is set up like that to keep less innocent people going to jail, more guilty people going to jail. That does mean guilty people go free more in America than other places, but hopefully less innocent people go to jail in America. It's frustrating sometimes. Let's say I'm driving down the road and I have a light out in the back, so the license plate light is out, and they pull me over. And they want to search my car. I can say yes, or I can say no. What will they do then?
Get a supervisor.
They will call a judge, get a warrant, and then they'll search your car.
Every time when I search one time, it's like gave me the, I was like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna search the truck. I was like, okay.
I was on the grand jury a couple times, and that is how they get drug dealers. Is the little light out in the whatever you call it, the little thing like that. That's how they, and then that's the step. But they know who the drug dealers are. They just have to be able to get them. They have to cross their T's and dot their I's. The drug dealer doesn't have to. You're free to do what you want to do, right? As long as you're not breaking the law, and they have to prove you're guilty. What if you drive by your house and somebody goes, ah!
They can go in your house.
There's probable cause. They need to investigate. This is weird. If there's smoke pouring out of a house, they might. I skipped every day of law school. Okay. There are some things that could lead them to be able to search and seize your stuff. If they get the stuff without going through the right way, that can't be used in court. Even if they see you shoot the person and they have the gun and your fingertip, if they got it the wrong way, that gets thrown out. And that's frustrating, but that's to protect innocent people.
Is it true if they arrest you and they don't read you your rights, then you can
Yes.
get out?
Yes. The policeman has to do everything right. You're spitting on him, cussing him, kicking him, and they have to say, yes, sir. Thank you, sir. You have the right to remain silent. I can't imagine being a police officer. I would never want to be a policeman. I would never. There's nothing. And plus, okay, the guy. I don't watch. I don't even know if the show's on anymore. I don't watch Cops. I've seen it a few times. The people they're arresting are not taking care of themselves, and they haven't bathed in a couple days. And it's probably slimy and just, ugh. Anyway, you cannot be searched. You cannot have your, other countries, you have to, sometimes you see the movies, show me your papers. You have to have stuff on you. They can search you anytime. They can seize your stuff. And so, but it is frustrating, but our system is designed to protect innocent people. The Fifth Amendment. Where have you heard of this before? They see the movie where they plead the Fifth. I plead the Fifth. When part of the Fifth Amendment is you don't have to testify against yourself. We'll read that a little bit. I call this the Due Process Amendment. If you're arrested, if you are accused of a crime, you have rights. And this Fifth Amendment spells out it's the rights of accused people, the rights of arrested people. There are things that they can do to you. There are things they can't do to you. And there are things that they have to do for you. That's your due. You are owed the legal process in America if you're arrested. There's things that can be done, there's things that can't be done, there's things that have to be done. I've never been arrested. I've always heard you get a phone call. They have to let you have a phone call, they have to give you access to a lawyer. No. I know people have been arrested, but I've never been arrested. I don't want to be arrested. That would be horrible. That'd be awful. I got things to do. Plus, I can't look good on a resume. Number of arrests. 0. Wow. Number of arrests. I don't know. Oh, awesome. Click. Sixth Amendment. Okay, is this the speedy trial? Yes. Sixth Amendment, you have the right, and I always put speedy trial here. You have the right to have a relatively speedy trial. This kind of goes with the Fifth Amendment, kind of explains some of the rights you have in a trial. I always say relatively speedy. Do court trials happen pretty quick after the arrest? No, sometimes it's years after. A lot of that is, there's two reasons for that. One is lawyers saying we need more time. One of them is we got a few courts and a bunch of cases. So it's like an hourglass. It takes time to get all those cases through the courts we got. Is Wise County going to need some more courts in the next few years? You got more people. I don't know how many, got 1 or 2 courts. I don't know what's going down with that. Anywho. The Seventh Amendment is that bail? Is that punishment? Cruel and unusual punishment? Is that civil? Okay, civil. We have 2 systems in our country, 2 court systems. We actually have 2 systems of 2 systems. We have federal and state. If you commit,
oh yes.
You're welcome. If you commit, I'll protect y'all. I'll always protect y'all. That's probably a good bug too. Probably eats ants and stuff. We have federal and state. If you commit a federal crime, that's federal court. If you commit a state crime, that's state court. Kidnapping is a federal crime. Murder is a state crime. Wherever the murder was committed, that's the state that has that court or has that case. About 30 years ago, it's in my lifetime, kidnapping used to not be a federal case. They went ahead and made it a federal case because they would have to wait for someone to cross state lines and have proof that somebody crossed state lines for the feds to get involved with it. But they went in and said, if someone's kidnapped, if someone's missing, now the feds can get involved right now. The Oklahoma City bombing. Y'all heard of that? I was in class when it happened. We were watching a video and I turned it off, and Channel 3 in Sherman, it was on Channel 3 for the video, and it was real fuzzy because it wasn't coming in good, and you saw this building, and what is that? And you can see the blowed up building. That was a federal crime because it was federal property. It was also 180 something murders. So the state of Oklahoma wanted to try all 187 or whatever it was of those murders because it was personal to them. The feds said, we will try this case because we could all see they can't have 187 cases, different trials. So the feds got that case. But there's two systems. There's civil court within the federal and state, and there's criminal court. Criminal court, I always try to find a cool way to say this, and I can't, is crimes. All right? If you rob a store, if you steal a car, if you take something, you beat somebody up, that's crimes. That's state. Or that's criminal. Civil is you're suing somebody. You either have a problem with something they've done, a company, divorce, child custody, that's all civil court. So this was said in a civil trial, you have the right to ask for a jury instead of just having a judge. Why would you want a jury? If you're suing somebody or suing a company, why would you want a jury instead of a judge? And judges. All right, if I have, let's say, 12 parents, moms or dads, whatever, and one federal judge. And federal judges are going to be like, they might have a heart, but it doesn't ever show. Does that make sense? Real hard, crusty, by the book. What are normal people? What could you do to normal people?
Win the heart.
You could get there emotionally. When I was younger, I guess when I was getting out of college, people were suing tobacco companies because they were dying of lung cancer. And the first few cases would get thrown out. Judges were like, what are you talking about? You smoked, no machine, put it in. They would get these juries, and now they were winning millions of dollars because they would go up there. When I was a kid, I went to the grocery store with my mama, and I heard this weird voice, and the guy turned around, and he had the hole here with the thing. You ever see? Oh my, that scared the garbage out of me. Just because, oh my gosh, what is that? There's a hole here. You ever seen somebody smoking out of that hole? That's not getting the point, Anyway, the other person up there, I've been smoking for 60 years. I'm dying of lung cancer. This evil tobacco company made it to where I was addicted to cigarettes. And they were giving millions of dollars. When y'all were, think of the first time you went camping or the first time you was around a campfire. What did you do at some point? Did you get away from the campfire? Why? Because the smoke blew in either the flame blew up or the smoke blew in your face, and you just sit there and go, you ran away because you go. So we all know smoke is bad for you, right? Everybody knows that. Companies are putting addictive products in their cigarettes. Ooh, yeah. Fine. That sounds like good business practice to me. That store is making this food too good. Okay? Don't eat it. Don't smoke. And they even have a label on there. From the time I was born, it said, warning, Surgeon General has decided this was bad for you. And now I don't buy it. I think now it just says, this will kill you. It just said, hey, idiot, this thing's going to kill you. Don't do it. So you can't go through, I didn't know. But you can get a jury. Millions of dollars. I will never, when I have my heart attack, it may kill me, I might live through it. I just don't want to hurt. Oh my God, that's the only thing I'm afraid of is the heart attack. I don't know if a heart attack can't hurt, but I want that one. I don't want I don't want that heart attack. But when I do have my heart attack, if I survive it, I will not sue Big Chicken Fried Steak. It's not their fault. It's not their fault that I put an IV of gravy in and just, that's not their fault. Well, Mr. Ryan, would you like to sue Chicken Fried? No. Well, they got, no. I could have gone like that. But when little Christy makes chicken fried steak, there's like the full thing goes away. The full thing doesn't say, hey, we're full. It just, keep it coming. Come on, you can do it. Keep it coming. But anyway, does that kind of make sense? Good. Okay. If you do hear I have my heart attack, I want you to, did it hurt? Was you okay? Did it hurt? Because I don't want it to hurt. I want to be the one that, okay. I guess the guy we talked about the first that was running with his kid, that one probably didn't hurt very bad, but he was in good shape.
Yeah.
I don't run. The cardiovascular is not good. Like if I jog to the office, I'm going to be breathing. So, anyway. 8. This is cruel and unusual punishment. We'll be done after. We'll do one more after this. Cruel, unusual punishment.
I think that might solve some problems.
Well, all right. If I'm arrested and they take me to Wise County Jail, I am gonna drop to the floor, suck my thumb, cry in the fetal position, because I don't want to be in jail. Jail is cruel and unusual punishment. Put away what you think about this. Let's just look at this. If you are convicted of murdering 5 people, does the death penalty match up with that crime? I'm not saying the death penalty is good or bad, right, wrong. I'm just saying, does that penalty match up with this crime? If you steal a car, does the death penalty match up with that crime? No. That's what this is saying. The punishment has to fit with the crime. We can't cut your head off because you said the king's ugly. We're not going to do that. The punishment has to fit the crime. The bail has to fit the crime. You can't have $1 million bail if you stole a TV, whatever. They're just saying the punishment and the crime has to at least match up. All right, last one. 9th Amendment. Do you have the right to eat Chinese food?
Yep.
Do you have the right to wear a purple shirt? Do you have the right to listen to stupid songs?
Yep.
Yeah. Which y'all do. I want to let y'all know. Y'all listen to stupid crap all the time. Does it say anything about those things in the Constitution? No. They didn't even know what Chinese food was back then. The 9th Amendment is other rights. You have other rights that are not spelled out in the Constitution. There's other stuff you have the right to that we can't write everything out. I'm really ticked at Decatur they took the Panda Buffet out.
Oh, yeah.
I hate Panda Express because you pay this much for this much. You could have gone to Panda Buffet and got whatever for this much. And they used to have amazing green beans. I'm not saying it was great food, but it was a lot of food and it was good. It was good. And there was a bunch of it. I'll take more of that. Yes, I'll make some more. That's why I work out. So I can, that's the whole point of doing anything, is so I can do that. That's the whole point of all this. And so I don't have to buy bigger pants. That's the other side. But that's the 9th Amendment. You have the right to Chinese food and a purple shirt. How about that? Yeah, but it's what, sushi, and it ain't what it was. It's different. I don't like different. I'm get off my lawn guy. I don't want different. I want what I had. Quit changing crap on me. Oh, I guess we can start there.